What's up, y'all? Proballer back again with another video where today we are going to be talking about the Lions-Rams game, man. This game, it was insane. If y'all saw my live stream, it was a freaking crazy experience. Editor Proballer, pop up some of the clips.
Goff steps back, he bombs it! Touchdown, J-Mo! That's a dirty hit! Touchdown, J-Mo! You're paid $20 million, $30, and you can't even tackle someone. A security guard would be better than you. Goff to Monty, touchdown! Montgomery!
As y'all can see, man, I was hyped, but I have a lot of things to say, both positive and negative. There's a lot of things that I learned about the Lions from this game. A lot of crazy things happened that I really do want to talk about. So, first off, geez Louise. Let's talk about the positives. So, positive things. David Montgomery, you're MVP of this game. You are the MVP. You came in so clutch at the end. And the reason why is literally look at those last couple of runs. Look at those last couple of runs. Look at the way he ran and look at just the grit. I know it's just cliche with us all the Dan Campbell says. Look at the grit though. This dude showed up when it mattered most. No one else really showed up except for Goff, J-Mo. I'm talking about in overtime. And the O-line, Penei Sewell especially. Just shout out to David Montgomery. That's all I can say. He played great. He did his thing. He is definitely one of our best players, and this game kind of cemented that for him especially. He is our bell cow running back. As much as I want Gibbs to be that, it's David Montgomery at least for this year. Next thing, Javonte Williams, as y'all peep it on the back of the jersey. Javonte Williams literally had his best game of his career. This dude balled out. He balled out. And honestly, I know it's crazy. I think he might have wide receiver 1 potential.
Something is wrong with you!
I know that sounds crazy, but this game really just showed how he can be almost like a Tyreek Hill type of guy. Although I do think he might be in this year and the next year, I still think he's more of like a Jalen Waddle type of guy. But I think in the peak of his career, maybe like a couple 5-4 years, he could be like a Tyreek Hill type of guy. So that is J-Mo for this game. He did freaking great. Shout out to J-Mo. He's probably the second like MVP of this game. He came in so clutch this game. Third guy, this is a little bit of a controversial one, but Jared Goff. Now, Jared Goff, like, here's the thing. He came into this game, having not played preseason. This was essentially his like first game, and he did pretty well. Now, he did have 2 picks, but in my opinion, the first one wasn't his fault. I'll pop it up on the screen right now. First one was not his fault. Amon-Ra, in my opinion, could have extended out and reached for the ball. He wasn't really. Maybe he didn't see the guy. I don't know, but Amon-Ra did not go for the ball very well. He could have reached out. He could have prevented that, and he didn't. Goff was just trying to lead the pass, and it didn't work. And if he had thrown it behind him, it could have been a pick as well. So Goff just did what he had to do. He was getting pressured. Didn't have a lot of options. Second one was his fault. He forced that ball into J-Mo. It was a very poor ball. It was not a good decision from Goff, so he does get a little bit of a ding there. But Goff maintained composure throughout the whole game. He wasn't nervous. That is one of the best things I would say about Jared Goff. He does not get nervous in the big moment. I've noticed that through the games I've watched of him on the Lions. He does not get nervous. He stays composed. Sure, he'll make maybe like one dumb pass every so often in a clutch situation, but I also blame that sometimes on Ben Johnson, but I'm not going to get into that because that could be a whole nother video. But I just really like what I saw out of Goff today. Very consistent. Even when the O-line let up a lot of pressure, he stuck with it, and he did his thing. So shout out to Jared Goff. Hutchinson. Shout out to Aiden Hutchinson. That dude got pressure the whole game. He was getting held. there was actually one play where the O-line, the right tackle, I don't know, remember who was it. I don't know if it's Rob Havenstein or whatever his name is. He tripped him. He literally intentionally stuck his leg out so Hutchinson would trip. They didn't call it. Hutchinson kept playing. He kept going in towards Stafford. He didn't complain during the clutch moments. He did it earlier in the game, but he didn't complain during when the ball was in play. So shout out to Hutchinson. Did his thing. Got a lot of pressure today. I think he got 1 or 2 sacks. I can't really remember, but he did his thing. He was one of the main or the key factors to our success on defense. But I feel like that's the end of the positives, and this is really why I wanted to make this video. Let's get into the negatives. First one, the most important, the most atrocious performance today. Aaron Glenn. It just seems like it's deja vu at this point with this guy. Like, I swear, I've made so many videos on this dude. Editor Pro. Just pop up all the clips right now. Now, going on to the next 2 people. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Bro, I have a big problem with those 2. And then whatever it is with him in the second half, he just crumbles. His game plan crumbles. Doesn't adjust to anything. Yeah, so Aaron Glenn, you did terrible this game in the second half. First half, you did great. Second half, you did not adjust at all. And you are one of the biggest reasons why we lost this game. This dude is so bad at his job. Aaron Glenn, like, you can't blame it on the players anymore, guys. You can't. You can't blame it on the players. Yeah, you could say, oh, maybe they're rookies. Terrion Arnold played at Alabama. I said this in my live stream. Alabama is pretty much NFL level. Like, how they go with their scheme and just preparedness, training, all of it. It's pretty much NFL level. So this dude, Terrion Arnold, should have been prepared. I am worried about Terrion Arnold. I did like the draft pick that Holmes made. I did like his pick in Terrion Arnold, but I am worried about him going forward. If you saw the game, you saw all of the pass interference calls, and they were all his fault. The refs were fantastic this game. I never give credit to the refs usually because they always are trash at their job, and they do really bad in terms of they just screw over the Lions a lot, it seems, and some other teams, but the Lions have had their the worst history with them. Someone else I want to talk about. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, I don't know what it was with Amon-Ra. I'm going to have to look back at the game footage. But from what I realized is that Amon-Ra just literally had no dog in him in this game. He couldn't get open. He couldn't do anything. I don't know if it was that Goff wasn't looking his way or just he didn't have him open. Amon-Ra wasn't getting open. But from what I saw, the incompletions thrown to him, the interception that Amon-Ra could have stopped, Amon-Ra just had no dog in this game. This was the worst game I've ever seen from Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I'm a fan of him. He is probably one of my favorite players on the team, but he did not show up today at all. This was probably his worst performance I've ever seen from him. He's most likely going to clean it up because he is a very good player at the end of the day. He's a top 5 wide receiver, but golly, this was his worst game. Let's just move on. The run blocking was terrible, especially for Gibbs. You cleaned it up in overtime, but I mean, we just gotta get this terrible, third quarter crap out of the way. That's another thing. Third quarter was absolutely terrible. Scoreless the whole third quarter, except I think at the opening of the third quarter, from what I remember, the very opening where J-Mo caught a crazy touchdown. But golly, man, the O-line was really bad in the second half, except for overtime. So I'm glad they came in when it mattered most, especially Penei Sewell, but I don't know. They are very new with Kevin Zeitler and Jonah Jackson not being there anymore. Graham Glasgow moving positions. So I do give them a little bit of slack, unlike Aaron Glenn, who has had mistake after mistake after mistake constantly. But yeah, I mean, as for the Rams, I think that's really all I have to say with the Lions. Shout out to Jake Bates for making that clutch kick that sent the Lions into overtime. He didn't make that out of it, man, but he did his thing. That's why the Lions got him. The Rams did their thing. Shout out to Cooper Kupp. I think he's gonna have his second best season. He just looked super good during that game. He looked super good. He did a ton of great things. He had great route running. He showed up when it mattered most. He made some tough catches, some tough plays, and he maintained composure throughout the whole game. I gotta give him credit. Gotta give him credit. I'm not a huge fan of the Rams, but I gotta give him credit. The whole team, honestly. Stafford even Stafford. Stafford was a class act at the end of the game. He didn't whine, he didn't pout. He wasn't toxic. He was cool. I give respect to Stafford. I'm not a Stafford fan at all. I didn't like him during his time here in Detroit, and I still don't like him as a player now. He's a great guy, but I don't like him as a player. But I like what I saw from him today. He showed a lot of classiness, I guess, if you want to put it that way. He did his thing. I forgot to mention this. I almost forgot to mention this. Aaron Glenn, year after year, does not know how to stop dink and dunk offense. It's like he's never coached football. And I said this in my live stream. Pop up the clip, Editor Pro. This was just funny.
You're still guarding the deep route.
And we're sitting here again talking about the same things.
Guys, I'm not even trying to be mean. I just don't know what goes through Aaron Glenn's head. I don't. It's like, he's like, you know, like Dan Campbell during one of the games was like, oh yeah, I'm looking at the wave. And I don't know if he was actually joking. He didn't know the play call that was going out. That is Aaron Glenn. He's just like, wow, Ford Field.
Wow.
This dude literally it's like he's literally looking around the stadium. He doesn't know what's going on in the game. He doesn't adjust at all. He just keeps the same game plan throughout the whole game. The players make the stops. It's never Aaron Glenn. It's always individual players, such as Carlton Davis. He almost got a pick. Alex Anzalone had a great game. He has honestly become one of my favorite players. And if y'all know my relationship with Alex Anzalone, I did not used to like him. And I like him a lot now. He is one of my favorite players on this team. Aiden Hutchinson. If it wasn't for guys like that and some of the other players on this team, the Lions would have lost this game because of Aaron Glenn's scheme. I'm very happy with how the Lions closed that game out. And I honestly think if the Lions, you never know, but I think that the Lions, if they had not won the toss, they would have lost the game. I truly do. I don't think the defense was in the right state of mind. I think they were physically exhausted. I think they were mentally exhausted after all the 3-and-outs from the offense. It just was a recipe for disaster. But thankfully, Stafford chose heads. Tails never fails, y'all. Always go tails. Always go tails. Thank you, Stafford, for going heads. That's all I can say. Going forward, the Lions have to have better third quarters. Have to. It has been a problem since last season. It's obviously a problem that's going to happen during this season unless they fix it. It is a big problem. They have to fix it. It's something that could cost them in the playoffs. Just like the Niners-Lions game. I did not forget about that game. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you liked this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Lions content. And if you haven't already, go check out my second channel, Extra Pro. I upload gaming videos over there and some lifestyle videos and other stuff over there. So, and also, shout out to Deca Niners. I will leave his link to his channel in the description. He made the thumbnail for the live stream. It looked fantastic. Shout out to him. He spent quite a bit of time making it. He actually hand drew some of the things in that logo. And yeah, so shout out to Deca Niners. Shout out to the Lions. Shout out to Jake Bates. And shout out to David Montgomery for coming through. Shout out to JMO. And shout out to the Lions. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.